So guys, today I'm going to tell you how I transformed my life. It was such an incredible journey so far. I was born with a problem with my liver, and I had this problem until the age of 18, 20 years old. I didn't have any evident problem apart from the digestion. I had problem with digesting everything, with this tummy ache. And then when I was around 20 years old, I start to gain weight, and my liver start to become fat and fatter and fatter, and this start to have some problem, not only about digestion in my body, but I start to have chronic fatigue and all this kind of issue that this kind of problem with the liver can generate it. And I spent 25 years of my life through doctors and all the kind of exams try to figure it out what kind of problem could be, and nobody seems to understand what the problem was. So I start to gain weight, and I reach at the age of 35 years old the weight of almost 100 kilos. I was 98 kilos with a liver of a 75 years old man. And then in 2019, they told me that I had 6 months of life left, and I had to face a transplant or I was going to die. And but also transplant was very risky because with my blood type and my overall health condition, it could be fatal, it could be deadly. So at that time I was in England with my wife. I had a 2-year-old son, and I don't know what to do. And I says, "Oh, come on, universe, what plan is that? I'm not meant to. I don't want to die. What can I do like this?" And then the universe sent to me a very special and simple word. The word was fasting. And at that time, my mindset about fasting was like, oh, come on, if I don't eat for 1 day, I'm going to die. But then I said, okay, I spent 25 years through the allopathic and general medicine, try to fix this issue. I have 6 months left to live, and what I have to lose? I don't have nothing to lose. So I tried to find a place where to do a fasting, a therapeutic fasting for saving my life, basically. But I didn't find it. I just found a place in Siberia, but it was very expensive. There was needed a translator, so I didn't feel confident to do so. So what I've done, I spent 3 weeks, night and day, doing all the research about fasting I could, and tried to get all the ingredients to start a therapeutic fasting. And on the 29th December 2019, I started my fasting. It was supposed to be 40 days, 40, like Jesus Christ in the desert. And it was very risky. It was very risky because I've done on my own. I just had the help of my wife, because it was quite complicated therapeutic fasting to do, but I need to save my life. That was my priority. And you know what? I started for doing 40 days of fasting, and then ended up doing 80 days of fasting. 80. So for almost 3 months, I didn't eat anything, just drinking mainly infuses of fenugreek and equisetum. I will not give now into much detail because there are several things that I done through the fasting without eating anything. I lost 35 kilos in 80 days, and I completely regenerate my liver. So my liver now is like a 25 years old. I'm full of energy since 5 years ago when I done this fasting, and my life completely changed. Not only I lost 35 kilos, but what happened through my spiritual connection, through my subtle bodies, I had mystical experiences. And from that point, 5 years ago, my life completely changed. And I reached a point where after this fasting, of course, it took me almost 3 months for coming back to a normal diet. And I started to become a vegan, mainly on a raw diet. So I spent the next year and a half doing only raw diet, eating mainly just fruits and raw vegetables. And my energy level was at the top. Never had such energy level in my life. And this started shifting my personality and my personal reality. And I start to having signals from the universe. And the next step was coming close to hygienism. And hygienism, if you don't know what it is basically Socrates, Plato, the 2,000, 3,000 years ago, they started to be the first ones to understand that we are the only species on Earth where we need to alter our food. And we cook our food and we process our food, but we are the only species on Earth. And I start to do a lot of research on that. And I understand that if we stick to our raw diet, our main food, this is what we are supposed to eat. And I know it's quite controversial, there are a lot of theories, but come on guys, I've experienced on my body, I read a lot of research, and after that, I attended a private university in Italy, Health Science University, and I graduated as a hygienist and natural health consultant. And from that point, I helped many people to have a different approach in their life and trying to understand that whatever disease we have in our bodies is just an imbalance of our body, and then our body through symptoms is trying to speak his language to us, because the wisdom of our body, our subconscious is stick in our body. Our body is the gate to the subconscious. So what I understood that, I help myself doing that, I experiment over myself, over my body, many things, many practices, and I help many people to heal in themselves through the diet, to transformative rituals, to habits that empowering themselves. And after that, the natural process, the life, the universe brought me to become a mental coach. So I study a lot for becoming a mental coach through CONI, an Italian association in Italy. And then I also done a mentorship program to become a certified mentor through the program Think and Grow Rich, the famous book of Napoleon Hill based on the 13 principles. And then I attended other workshop. I made almost 2 years of a journey with a very great Italian coach, Daniele Di Benedetti, and my transformational journey improved and boosted and accelerated. And I worked so much on myself. I worked so much, so deep. I made the inner work. And we are all work in progress human being. And I'm still that. So every day I discover something new about myself. But I started to love myself, to self-love, to self-care. And prioritize myself, filling my cup first. And this was a major shift in my life. And then also came Joe Dispenza, Anthony Robbins, Peter Crone, Julian Blanc, so many other coaches and inspiration to me. And my job is not finished yet. But in the meantime, I start to change my life. So I start to have new habits and new routines, and new habits creates new behavior, and new behaviors creates new personality, and new personality creates a new personal reality. So I didn't allow anymore the external environment conditioning myself. So I start a rewiring, a refiring process of my brain. And in this way, I rid off a lot of conditioning that we had since our birth, starting from our parents first, the school, the society, all the limiting beliefs such as I'm not enough, I don't deserve the life, I don't deserve money, I don't deserve a lot of things, I have a low self-esteem, all this kind of self-sabotage, imposter syndrome, all these kind of limiting beliefs that are conditioning through the subconscious our life, because we are driven by 95% by our subconscious through the body, and our body is so wise, it knows. So I started different other techniques. And then it was May 2013 where it started really my transformational journey, and I understood I was a very successful international photographer, and I decided that that career wasn't my life mission, and I really found my purpose in life. I had a mystical experience. I met my higher self, and my higher self told me that my life mission in life is to bring peace and love in the world, and I didn't know how. So I discovered my strong why. Now I have this strong why, but I didn't know how. And still the how is very flexible because it's in accordance with the universe. So I became the leader of my life. I became the co-creator of my life alongside the universe. So I really tap into my intuition and try to get the signals from the outside, the signals from the universe, and try to get the opportunity, because I have the strong why, I have the vision. I see clearly where I want to be in 5 years, in 10 years. And my life mission is to nourish my inner joy and be at service. Allow the others to awake their inner joy and unleash their full potential. Because we are all diamonds, raw diamonds. We all are divine creatures. We just forgot. We just forgot our divine touch. We just forgot our divine nature. And my mission is not to adding things, but it's just removing, unbecoming what we are not. And then, on top of this, visualization and manifestation becomes another great tool I'm applying in my life. And it's not like about positive affirmation, looking into the mirror or something like that. It's just meditate and visualize the life of my dream. What kind of person I want to become, how my future self behave, how I speak, what kind of decision, and I'm 100% responsible of my happiness, of my life. I took full accountability of my life. So now it doesn't matter what's happening in the external world. It doesn't matter. I'm not blaming anymore the others. It's not easy every time. There are something still triggering me. But where I have a trigger, I understand where I'm not free yet. And understand this, that everything happens for us and not to us. And I completely changed the narratives about all my entire life. And now my entire story is worthy. And especially my bad traumas, my bad experiences, my bad rock bottom points, they became my best tools. Because now I can help people transform their life, because I experience it on myself. I know what does it mean. So through my experience, through my own story, I understood better myself, and now I can be a service for the humanity, and I can attract to myself my tribe, people who resonate with my kind of issues I had, and I can help to break free and transform their life and become the leader of your life, the co-creator alongside the universe. You can find your strong why, and if you find your purpose, then the how is very flexible. You can have, of course, some strategies, but the how is according to the universe. So I'm very open and tapping into my intuition from understand in which direction I need to go for reach my vision, for reach my goal, for becoming the person I deserve to become, for becoming the person I am already, because I'm already enough. I just forgot. We all forgot how powerful we are, how divine we are. We forgot. And we just need to remove all the liars, all the bullshit, all the conditioning, all the limiting beliefs that we got. It's not our fault. We don't need to feel guilty, feel ashamed. It's not our fault, but it's our responsibility, for sure, 100%. And there's no judgment. The key is also not having any kind of judgment about ourselves and any kind of judgment about the others. That's our role, paramount key for becoming free. Because if you don't judge yourself and you are compassionate to yourself and you are be kind in your daily inner talk, you find peace. And when you are at peace with yourself, you are more at peace with all the others. And if there is something that is triggering you, it's just something that is linked to the past experiences that is sticking to your body. So the big shift in my life, it was in May 2023. And from that point on, I decided I was not going to do the photographer anymore because it wasn't my life mission. And I decided to go all in into my new project as a transformative coach. So I organized everything, and at the end of January 2024, I left definitely Europe and I became a digital nomad. And every 2 months I'm moving around countries. At the moment I'm in Auroville, in India. I spent 2 months in Bali. I'm going to have in a few days 2 months in Nepal as well. And that's my 2024, keeping forming myself, keeping exploring and create network for my life, for my business, and for the future. And I also have a 7-year-old son and an ex-wife to manage, and it's not easy. I have a lot of responsibility on it, but I feel free. I feel the freedom I never felt before, and I made this choice that completely changed my life. There's no plan B. There's just a plan A. So I'm fully focused into my plan. I'm fully focused into my vision and fully focused into my goal, who I want to become, how I want to be really a service for people and nourishing my joy first. So my life mission is to nourish my inner joy and help the others to unleash their full potential, awake their inner joy, because inner joy is our birthright. We just forgot, and we just need to remove layers of bullshit, of limiting beliefs, of conditioning. I'm becoming who we are not, and becoming who we want to be. And remember that our story is driven by our personality, and our personality is driven by our state. And our state is the product of our focus, our language, and our physiology. So how we move our body, our posture, how we move in the world, how we move in the space, and how we feel our body, how we speak to ourselves. So the language, our inner talk, and our focus of where we put our attention, because energy grows only where we put our attention, and the combination of these three things create our state, and our state create our personality, and our personality create our personal reality, and our personal reality create our story, our destiny. So you can see we can create, we can become co-creator alongside the universe of our future, of our present, be in the present moment, creating a compelling future. And then what happened, and I felt the urge and the need to explore more about the somatic release of our trapped emotion that we call trauma. And I became a facilitator in breathwork ice bath and authentic relating. So on top of all the expertise I already had in the last 5 years, I can use also these tools on myself first, on all the others, for transforming their life. Because releasing trapped emotion is a cathartic way, for breaking free and become freedom. Because the real true purpose of our human experience is to become free ourselves for the triggers, for the anxiety, for all the things that are conditioning our life, and become at peace. Because if we are at peace with ourselves, we are in peace with the others and with the entire world, and we are not being triggered anymore from the other behaviors, not blaming, not pointing the finger and blaming the others because we are not happy because of that, because he did this to me, and I feel, of course there are injustices, of course there are things that are not fair, and you are completely free to and allow yourself to feel this sensation, to feel this emotion. But the game changers is feeling and nourishing the inner joy, and in the meantime feeling also sadness, feeling anger, feeling frustration. You can feel it both, and welcoming everything and not putting resistance to everything of the part of us where we don't like it. Because if we are accepting that, if we are welcoming that, we can transform, and we're going to transform naturally without this kind of effort. The much resistance we put in our life on the things that we don't like, the more we judge ourselves for the things of our behavior, of our character, of our part that we don't like. As soon as we don't fully embrace also our dark part, our darkest things inside ourselves, that the majority of that are not belonging to us. It's not our fault, but it's our responsibility to become aware and bringing from the unconscious and become conscious of the things that we are not conscious of. That's the key for transformation. So now I keep improving myself, I keep working on myself without not loving myself. I love myself so much. I accept myself completely and fully. And in the meantime, I want to improve. Of course, I feel now my power. I feel now that really I can be unstoppable, and I can create the life of my dream. And I want to do it because I deserve it. Because everybody of us deserve the life of our dreams. And it means everything. Success. The word success can meaning everything to you. It can be stay with your family. It can be incredible rich. It can be at peace with yourself and living a humble life with no expectations. Expectations is another thing that is destroying and create our own suffering. Create our own suffer. So now, on top of everything, I'm transforming my life. I can help you to transform your life through coaching, through mentoring, through facilitating, through fasting, through natural health consultant, and many, many other things that I'm keeping to improve. I want to improve and absorb and learn new technique, new skills, especially for the somatic release of trauma. And I'm going to organize retreats in 2025, mainly in Bali, because it's such a beautiful place where having transformation. It's a magical land. Very spiritual, high level energy.